Purihin po ang Panginoon sa umagang ito, sa pagkakataon na tayo naman ay nandito, and kami ay nagpapasalamat at muli tayo nagkasama-sama. Nung sinabihan ko ni Brother Ray na this will be the last Sabbath for ng mga missionaries dito. Mag-transfer na sila sa Mindanao for the last phase ng training. So, of course, marami tayong pinagkakabalahan, mga kapatid. But salamat sa Panginoon sa pagkakataong ito na, He always reminded us on sa mga bagay na dapat i-prioritize natin sa ating buhay. So, inisip ko, brother, ano kayong message na i-share ko? Actually, honestly naisip ko talaga kung I was thinking, Saturday mo po ako sa nabihan, di ba? Ako kasi, ako yung tao na hindi naman, gusto ko magpe-pressure ako. So, iniisip ko lang, pero hindi ako ewan ko ba, parang ng inspiration sa akin ko Then, comes Friday. I thought about Elijah, then all of a sudden, habang binabasa ko ang kwento ni Elijah, pumasok itong, di ba, yung kay Elisha. Then, this is one thing, maybe, this is an inspiration sa akin ng Panginoon na ma-share sa atin lahat, mga kapatid, at the same time sa ating mga missionary particularly, that we can learn from the call of Elisha. Okay? So, sinabi ni Brother Jeffrey, I hope Brother Jeffrey can relate this. Okay? 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 19 to 21. Then later on, move tayo sa 2 Kings chapter 2. So he departed, 19, from here and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, okay, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen in front of him, and he was with the 12. Now remember, mga kapatid si Elisha nag-aararo. Ilan ang oxen na nasa harap niya? 12. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, nung unang panahon, pag nag-aararo ka na mayroong 12 oxen sa harap mo, hindi ka basta-basta. You belong to a wealthy family. Okay? Hindi lang isa, 12. At may kasama pa siyang alalay. So, remember, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid, si Elisha, hindi siya ordinaryong tao. Okay? Siya ay kabilang sa, sabihin natin, brother, na mayamang pamilya during that time. Maraming hayop, maraming mahayupan at malawak ang lupain. Okay? Then Elijah passed by him and he cast his cloak upon him. Now, what happened in verse 19 and verse 20? And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow you. Saan ang galing yung mindset ni Elisha na ganun? Nung nakita niya si Elisha, sabi niya, hahalik ako sa aking ama at ina, at ako ay susunod sa iyo. Anong sabi ni Elijah? And he said to him, go back again, for what have I done to you? Pero actually, si Elijah, in-inspire niya siya ng Panginoon na puntahan niya si Elisha. Pero tinest niya si Elisha kung totoo ba talaga ito. Anong sabi ni Elijah? Bumalik ka. Ano bang ginawa ko sa'yo? Anong nangyari sa'yo? Parang gano'n, di ba? Then what happened? Bumalik nga, umuwi sa tahanan si Elisha. Pero anong ginawa niya? And he returned from following him and took the yoke of oxen. And what Elisha did? Anong ginawa niya? He sacrificed them. At anong ginawa niya? Niluto niya. With the flesh and the yokes and the oxen. And anong ginawa niya? Ibinigay niya sa kanyang mga tauhan. At kinain nila. Then after nangyari, mga kapatid, Then he arose and went after Elijah and assisted him. Sabi, no? Nagpadispedida si Elisha. Yung kanyang pagpadispedida, hindi siya pupunta sa ibang lugar o pupunta ng Canada, America, Australia para mag-ibang bayan at magpayaman. Nagpadispedida siya, mga kapatid, sign ng kanyang total surrender sa Panginoon. I know. I was talking, Brother Jeffrey, di ba, when we were in Malaysia. Actually, I know, it's maybe you miss the comfort of your life way back in Hong Kong. Maybe you miss the air condition in your room. And like here, you just sleep anywhere, with plenty of mosquitoes. Maybe you experience that one. But actually, of all the insects, mosquitoes are not racist. Yeah. Because they will bite regardless of your skin color. Either you're white, black, or brown. But I hope you enjoy the place here, Maybe you forget your comfort there, way back at your home, You can eat the best food that you can have. And, I remember and I realize, maybe Brother Jeffrey like Elisha, leave everything. When there's an invitation for you to come here in the Philippines, what did you say? I will go. And then experience the life here in the Philippines. Brothers and sisters, in the life of Elisha, there was a great sacrifice na kanyang ginawa. Iniwan niya ang lahat, the comfort of his home, to follow the man of God, Elijah. Now, the question is, bakit ganito na lamang yung acceptance ni Elisha nung nakita niya si Elijah? Okay? What was the prior event? We'll go to Patriarchs and Prophets and Kings, chapter 17. Okay. For the background, Shaphat, Elisha's father, was a wealthy farmer. Kaya ganon na lamang. He was belong to the wealthy family talaga. Okay. Pero the question is, well, regardless of kung mayaman siya, ang tanong kasi doon, bakit ganon na lamang yung reaction ni Elisha? Nung nakita niya si Elijah ay talagang gustong sumunod. Okay? Now, sa mga missionaries, nung may invitation sa inyo way back, more than 1 year ago, na mayroong training. Okay, what motivates you to join with the training? Maybe gusto niyo mag-adventure at makapunta sa ibang lugar? Nakakasawa na sa amin. Baka pwede namang pumunta sa ibang lugar, magkaroon ng ibang atmosphere. Okay? Makakilala ng maybe future ko. Okay? Is that what motivates you? Now, the question is, why is it that when Elijah called Elisha, without any hesitation, ay sumunod agad si Elisha? Elisha's father was a wealthy farmer, a man whose household were among the number that in time of almost universal apostasy, they had not bowed the knee to Baal. Elisha belonged to the faithful family. There was a home where God was honored, where allegiance to the faith of ancient Israel was the rule of daily life. Remember, from the time of Moses to the time of Elisha, ilang taon na kaya yun? How many years passed, di ba? Sobrang tagal na nun. Now, in such surroundings, the early years of Elisha, were passed. Okay. In the quietude of country life, under the teaching of God and the nature and the discipline of useful work, he received the training in habits of simplicity and of obedience to his parents and to God that helped him fit him for the high position he was afterward to occupy. You know, brothers and sisters, mga kapatid, you know, lahat tayo ay tinawag na maging missionary. Okay? And the very, very first missionary training ground, walang iba ay ang ating family. For the parents here, or yung kayong mag-asawa, you're contemplating to have family, the very, very first missionary training ground ay walang iba ang family. You know, na-appreciate ko lang itong mga kapatid. Itong aking, my 3 girls, they are now in homeschool. Nung nakita ko yung konsepto ng homeschooling na present sa amin, it prepares for the children to become a missionary in the future. Kaya nagustuhan ko yung mga minamahal kong mga kapatid. Wala silang hassle sa worldly academic, hindi ganun ang point doon sa school na pinasukan na nila ngayon. It is preparing the kids for the future to become a missionary. Kahit mag-graduate ka ng college, mga kapatid, na mindset sa mga bata na kapag kayo ay nakatapos at magkaroon ng trabaho, saan man kayo mapunta, magiging missionary kayo. Why? Because the very, very first training ground to become a missionary, mga kapatid, ay walang iba ang tahanan. Well, for our missionaries, maybe you have struggles, di ba? You have struggles. It might be, the reality is, siyempre galing tayo sa iba't ibang family na hindi naman tayo na motivate, di ba? Nung maliit pa tayo, hindi tayo na training. Na yung konsepto na pag kayo ay lumaki, kayo ay magiging missionary, hindi masyadong naturo yan, especially sa mainstream, di ba? Ang tinuro lang sa atin, mag-aral kayo ng mabuti, makagraduate kayo, at kung kayo ay makagraduate, magkaroon kayo ng magandang trabaho, at kung kayo ay magkaroon ng magandang trabaho, makatulong kayo sa church. But in reality, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid, makikita natin yung lesson dito kay Elisha. That was the product of the first missionary training na nangyari sa tahanan niya. Kaya when the call comes, nung dumating yung tamang panahon na tinawagan, lang sabi mga kapatid, the training that Elisha experienced nung siya ay maliit pa lang sa kanyang tahanan ay nakatulong sa kanya para siya ay magiging akma doon sa posisyon na inihanda sa kanya in the future. That's the number 1 point na gusto kong bigyan pansin. How was the training done at home? By faithfulness in little things. Elisha was preparing for greater trust. Day by day, through practical experience, he gained a fitness for a broader, higher work. Alam niyo mga kapatid, ulitin ko po, hindi ako nag-promote na mag-homeschool din kayo, but with this, in-emphasize dito yung practical experience. Ang tinuturo sa mga bata, mga life skills, character building, and academic, panghuli lang yun mga kapatid. They will start their academic at the grade 9. From kinder to grade 8, lahat life skills, values formation, character formation, matutunan nila yung mga bagay-bagay na sa nature. And nakorelate ito mga kapatid that Elisha is the product of true education. That's why, pag dumating yung time na siya ay tinawagan na ng Diyos na maging missionary, ready na siya. Why? Because the training has been, hindi naman talaga totally completed, but nagiging way yun para maging ready siya. He learned to serve And in learning this, he learned also how to instruct and lead. Because time will come, the missionary must be a leader. He must be a leader in our congregation, in our church. And it's very important that in the home, sa bahay pa lang mga kapatid, turuan na natin yung ating mga anak na magiging leader. Leader sa paghuhugas ng plato. Leader sa pagnawawalis ng sahig. Leader sa pagtutupi ng mga damit. Leader sa paglalaban ng damit. Why? Yun ang sinasabi ko sa aking mga anak. Because time will come na kayo ay mag-isa na matuto na kayo. And this is very practical. And this is a training na nangyari kay Elisha. And the lesson is for all. None can know that maybe God's purpose in his discipline, but all may certain that faithfulness in little things is the evidence of fitness for greater responsibilities. Mga kabataan, huwag niyong isipin na kapag kayo ay pinagluto, kayo ay pinaglinis, kayo ay pinaghugas, parang nakadegrade na yan. No. Remember, kapag kayo ay maghugas ng inyong mga pinggan, tapos ang paghuhugas ninyo ay parang mayroon pang konting oil, ayusin ninyo po yan. Kasi, kunting bagay lang yan. Pero pagka nasanay kayo na ang paghugas, ang pagwawalis ay pulido, dadating ang panahon pagka lumaki na kayo, tumanda na kayo, madadala yan. That's part of training. Faithfulness in little things. Yung aking bunso, sabi niya, Papa, gusto kong magkaroon ng pera. Sabi ko, ba't gusto magkaroon ng pera? Sabi niya, gusto kong pumunta ng Hawaii. Kasi gusto kong mag-ano doon sa mga beach doon. Sabi niya, gusto kong magstay doon kasi nakita niya doon sa TV na yung may sa Hawaii yung beach daw maganda, may hotel daw. Sabi ko, wala man tayong pera. Sabi niya, give me money. Sabi ko, paano? Sabi niya, mag-ipon ako. So pag may nakita siyang coin, kinukuha niya. Pero sabi ko sa kanya, huwag kang kumuha ng coin na hindi sa iyo at hindi binibigay sa iyo. Piso lang naman yun, di ba? That's only 1 peso. Well, mga bata, kunin lang naman yan. Pero remember, brothers and sisters, paghayaan natin ng mga bata natin na kumuha, kahit piso yan, nandyan lang yan, at kukunin nila na walang paalam. That will be a great danger in the future. Kahit gaano man kaliit yan. Ano? Every act of life is a revelation of character, and he only who in small duties prove himself, okay, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, can be honored with God with a higher service. Yung katapatan sa maliit na bagay ay ano? Kapag tayo ay mapagkatiwalaan sa maliit ng bagay, pagkatiwalaan tayo sa malaking bagay. Missionaries, alam niyo po, pag kayo ay nakatapos na, di kayo, yung expectation na, tapos na ako medyo mataas na ang ano ko, katayuan. Remember, everything starts to the ground, regardless of how much training we have. Makikita natin mamaya sa buhay ni Elisha. He who feels that it is of no consequence how to perform the smaller task proves himself unfit for a more honored position. Wow. He may think himself fully competent to take up a large duties, but remember, but God looks deeper than the surface. Okay? After test and trial, there is written against him in the sentence, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. His faithfulness reacts upon himself. He fails of gaining the grace, the power, the force of character which is received through unreserved surrender. It's very important. Another thing, because they are not connected with some directly religious work, many feel that their lives are useless. Mga kapatid, hindi naman ako nagpipreach eh. Ako ay isang magtitinda lang naman. Ako ay isang tricycle driver lang naman. Remember, if they could, many feel that their lives useless, that they are doing nothing for the advancement of God's kingdom. If they could do some great thing, how gladly they would undertake it. But because they can serve only in little thing, they think themselves justified doing nothing. Remember, in this day here, nagkakamali po yung ganong klaseng mindset. A man may be in active service of God while engaged in the ordinary, everyday duties. While felling trees, clearing the ground, or following the plow, the mother who trains her children for Christ is as truly working for God as is the ministers in the pulpit. That's why, katulad ng sinasabi ko, I know it's hard. Si Brother Ray, di ba? Mahirap din talaga magdisiplina ng mga anak, magpalaki. Yung pag-worship time pa lang, yung nakaapat na awit ka na, ang tagal gumising. Di ba? Pagpabasahin mo ng verse, ang bigat. Pero pagka nagsiselfone na, kahit magdamag, okay lang. That's a challenge for the parents. Yun sinasabi ko sa mga anak ko. Sabi ko, pagdating ng panahon, kung hindi man kayo sumunod, nasa inyo. But I will try my best to do my part, sabi ko, for you. And the same as sa ating mga anak, mga parents, yung sentiment natin na mapaayos yung ating mga anak, yung ating family. Hindi po basta-basta. Alam nyo, naisip ko nga, sabi ko, ngayon ko lang na-realize na itong mga bata nagpumuskul na. Kasi noon kasi okay lang kasi nga. Isip ko, nag-aral naman sila eh. Di ba? Pero ngayon, Angela, hindi basta-basta kasi na-realize ko, dito pala nakasalala yung future ng anak ko. Hindi lang yung future dito sa sanlibutan ito, pero hindi yung future doon. Di ba? Parents, if we will not make it now, magiging isang malaking kapananagutan natin sa Panginoon. That's why, like Elisha, siya ay produkto talaga ng siguro hindi naman talaga totally strict, pero yung tamang disiplina lang na naiintindihan ng bata kung bakit ginagawa ito. Lagi kong pinapaalala sa kanila. Sabi ko, yung paghuhugas ninyo ng plato, kahit kami ay mayroong kasama sa bahay, sabi ko hindi pwede na dahil may kasama tayo sa bahay. Paupo na lang kayo. Pa-cellphone na lang kayo. Hindi ganun. Kasi sabi ko pagdating ng panahon, kapag kayo ay magkaroon na ng sariling pamilya, hindi na kayo mahihirapan. That's part of training, mga kapatid. Many long for special talent with which do a wonderful work. Well, singing, di ba? Preaching, teaching. While the duties lying close at hand, the performance of which would make life fragrant are lost sight of. Let such one take up the duties lying directly in the pathway. Remember, okay, missionaries, brothers and sisters, success depends not so much on talent as on energy and willingness. It is not the possession of splendid talents that enables us to render acceptable service, but the conscientious performance of daily duties, the contented spirit, the unaffected, sincere interest in the welfare of others. In the humblest, true excellence may be found. The commonest tasks wrought with loving faithfulness are beautiful in God's sight. What is important, mga kapatid? the conscientiousness performance of daily duties. Diba? Yung aming kasambahay, siguro maraming pinagdadaanan din siya. Sabi ko, pwede bang pag naghugas ka, tingnan mo naman. Kasi minsan may oil kasi, di ba? Mas maganda, pag nagwawalis, intindihan ko naman, pero gusto ko lang maano niya na, mas maganda ganito, na hindi naman siya ma-offend. Well, may dalawang klaseng manggagawa. Kaya sa Biblia, may dalawang klaseng manggagawa. Yung tunay na manggagawa at saka yung bayaran ng manggagawa. Okay, remember? Sa missionary din, meron ding tunay na missionary at saka yung hindi tunay. At Elisel, regardless kung gaano tayo kagaling magsalita, kagaling kumanta, but what matters is the conscientious performance of daily duties. That's success depends. Kayo mga missionary, diba, graduate ninyo. Si nabattery kanina yung kay Life ni Abraham, sobrang daming pagsubok. Diba? Ngayon, Kuya Joe, medyo okay pa kayo kasi group na kayo, di ba? Pero pag kayo ay nagdadalawa na, at dumating yung point na kayo ay nag-iisa na, nag-solo na kayo, the level is not the same as a group. Di ba? Iba na yan. Ang kaaway mo na, hindi mo na katampuhan, wala ka ng katampuhan na kasama mong missionary. Ang katampuhan mo na yung sarili mo. Nandun na yung real struggle. Totoo yan, mga kapatid. I was a volunteer of Philippine Frontier Missions for 3 summers. So, nag-missionary ako dyan. Sa bundok, Benguet. Then, prior to my graduation, 1 year akong nag-missionary somewhere in La Union. I know how hard the life of being a missionary. Diba? Buti pa nga kayo, dito dati we live like, ang binibigay namin ng allowance sa church namin is 1,500 lang monthly. Oo, 1,500. Minsan may mga church na pagbisita namin, makadala kami ng bigas, ng gulay. So, masisave namin yung 1,500. Pero may month talaga na wala. So, doon kami nabubuhay. Sa 1,500 na yun, mga kapatid. 2 kami. No? Well, remember, nung si Elisha naging missionary, iniwan nga yung kanyang comfort sa bahay, di ba? So, alam nyo na ngayon ang konsepto ng pagiging missionary is not of the luxury of life. Even makaranas kayo ng dumating nga sa point, mga kapatid, nung kayo yung missionary, kasi nga medyo barangay kami, nabuhay lang talaga kami sa noodles, sa noodles pa nung unang panahon. Wala. Tapos yun, talbos. Sabagay, okay naman yung mga missionary nun. Nabubuhay naman yata ito sa talbos-talbos lang. Diba? Of course, pagiging missionary, may privilege din naman yan, diba? Of course, the privilege, you can go to other places na hindi ka nagagastos, diba? Alam mo, sa totoo lang, napaka-privilege ninyo na hindi namin kayang ma-afford kami mga ordinary. We need to spend a lot of money to go to Benguet, to Baguio. Diba? To go to Mindoro. Pero, Brother Joe, mga missionaries, the privilege is napakaganda. Diba? But sometimes, hindi naman lahat sa pagiging missionary nandun lahat. May din yan. Pumunta kayo sa Mindoro, siguro nagutom kayo doon. Diba? Ilang beses lang kumain, minsan 1, 2.
Sila nagutom doon, marami ka Diyos.
Oo. Or maybe, walang bigas doon, di ba? O, paulit-ulit lang. Diba? Malang ganon. Dito sa may variety. So, ganon ang But, to expect really something na the best, ate, ganon po. Pero, sinasabi ko po sa inyo, itong mga missionary natin, mga sending, silang pinadala. Tayo naman, mga support tayo missionary. Okay, remember, we are all missionaries here, mga minamahal ko, mga kapatid. Now, So, going back doon sa sinabi ni Brother Jeffrey sa text natin, had Elisha asked Elijah what is expected of him, what would be his work, he would had been answered, God knows. Pero nagtanong ba si Elisha? Hindi siya nagtanong. Basta't sumunod na lang siya. Kasi naramdaman niya yung call. Okay? Why? Because prepared na siya. Na-train na siya sa kanyang tahanan. He will make it known to you. If you wait upon the Lord, He will answer your every question. You may come with me if you have the evidence that God has called you. Now, the question is for our missionaries, what motivates you to join? Na-feel nyo ba na kayo ay tinawag ng Diyos like Elisha? Okay? Wala bang nagsulsul sa'yo na, sige, mag-join ka na sa training na yan para naman bawas-bawasan ng sakit ng ulo namin dito sa bahay. Di ba ganon? Ha? But remember, know for yourself that God stands back of me and it is His voice you hear. If you can count everything but draws that you may win with the favor of God, count. Si Brother Jeffrey, huwag mong i-translate ha. Alam niyo ba kung anong trabaho nito? Nasa yan, parang cyber engineer. Data science. Alam niyo kung magkano sweldo sa Philippines niyan? Kalahating milyon, pinakamababa. Totoo lang. Pero nung natanggap niya yung gospel, iniwan niya lahat, mga kapatid. Ano ito? Chinese ito ba? Chinese siya? Hong Kong, diba? Hong Kongnese. Pero actually, sa totoo lang, kaya nga sabi ko, na-relate ko, I was talking about you, Brother Jeffrey. Sorry. I like you, like Elisha, you're willing to leave everything, the comfort of your home, and he has been here, how many months are you here? It's already 6 months. And you're not missing home? Your bed? You're not missing your bed? Your soft bed? See? So, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid, I can sense the spirit of this man. He really loves serving God. Nakita niya yung katotohanan na handa niyang isugal, iiwan kung ano man ang meron siya sa kanyang tahanan para sa kanyang family. Because he wants to know and he wants to be trained. So, next, Elisha accepted the call to service, casting no backward glance at the pleasures and comfort he was living. No, he was not thinking about, the call to place on the altar of the service comes to each one. We are not all asked to serve Elisha. Hindi naman tayo tinawagan na katulad kay Elisha. Nor we are obedient to sell everything we have. Now, kapag meron pa kayong dyan, huwag mo na ibenta. Okay? But God asked us to give His service the first place in our lives. That's the principle. To allow no day to pass without doing something to advance His work in the earth. He does not expect all the same kind of service because we have different talents and gifts. One may be called to ministry in the foreign land, you like missionaries. Another may be asked to give his means for the support of the gospel. Okay, support missionaries. God accepts the offering of each. It is, remember this, brothers and sisters, it is the consecration of the life and all its interest that is necessary. Okay. Those who make this consecration will hear and obey the call of heaven, like Elisha, like our missionaries here. To everyone who becomes partaker of His grace, the Lord appoints a work for others. Individually, we are to stand in our lot, saying, for myself, everybody, here I am, send me. Ate Heidi, hindi lang sila, tayo din. Anong pinaka first missionary ground natin? Ating pamilya. Okay? Whether a man be a minister of the word or a physician, whether he be merchant, okay? Titinda lang naman ako, brother, sa palengke. Barbero lang naman ako eh. Mga minamahal kong mga kapatid, nandun yung field natin. Di ba? Doon yung field. Driver lang naman ako eh. Nandun yung field natin. Plain household lang naman ako eh. That's our field. Okay? Mechanic, professional man or mechanic, the responsibility rests upon him. It is his work to reveal to others the gospel of their salvation. Every enterprise which engages should be a means to this end. It is no great work that was at first required of Elisha. Nung siya ay tinanggap na ni Elijah, hindi naman siya naging katulad kay Elijah, yung posisyon niya. Nagsimula talaga siya sa common discipline's duties still constituted his discipline. He is spoken as a pouring water on the hands of Elijah. Yeah. His master. He was willing to do anything that the Lord directed. At every step, he learned lessons of humility and service. Kaya, di ba, katulad sinabi ng Richelle kanina, hindi naman kay lahat nagtuturi, di ba? Pero sa araw-araw niyong ginagawa, yung inyong araw-araw na ginagawa, nando na yung training. It's part of training. Why? Ano ang lesson na matutunan natin doon? Lessons of humility and service. As the prophet's personal attendant, he continued to prove faithful in little things, while in the daily strengthening purpose, he devoted himself to the mission appointed by him by God. Remember? Sino nga yung Sino nga yung katiwalaan ni Elijah? Si Gehazi, di ba? Hindi siya naging tapat. Ba? Remember, mga missionaries, di ba? Dumating yung point, di ba? Temptation, ang temptation, pwedeng sa tingin ninyo ay maganda, pwedeng sa tingin din natin ay hindi maganda. But, sa buhay ni Elisha, sabi nga dito, Elisha's life after uniting with Elijah was not without temptation. In other words, kahit tayo ay nasa gawain, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid, hindi po yan, mga missionaries, exempted sa tukso. Bagkos, mas lalo pang matindi ang tukso pag nasa gawain. Lalo na pag kayong mga lalaki. At ang lagi niyong panalangin, Brother Joseph, tukso, layuan mo ako. Trials he had in abundance. But in every emergency, ano ang sekreto ni Elisha? He relied on God. Diba? Kaya Brother Joseph, pag tumating na ang tukso, hindi mo na kausapin ang tukso, doon ka na sa Panginoon makipag-usap. He was tempted to think of the home that he had left. O sino ba sa inyo ngayon ang gusto nang umuwi? Uwi na lang ako dito. Nag-away-away pala kami dito. Ah, akala ko mga mababait ang mga nagtitraining. Yung pala medyo masama palang ugali.
May ilang yata ang hindi pa kakauwi.
Bakit?
Kami nakatira kasi.
He was so tempted to think of the home he had left. But to his temptation, he gave no heed. Having put his hand on the plow, he resolved not to turn back. And through test and trial, he proved true to his trust. Now, last na lang. We will end this one. Basahin niya, just read it through. Sobrang ganda ng mga lessons dito. You know, sinasabi ko sa inyo mga missionaries, to finish your training is one thing, but pag kayo ay nasa inyo ng sariling field, nando na Daniela ang tunay na struggle. Kung kayo ay nag-struggle as a group, but if you will go to your own mission field, pag ikaw na ang leader, nando na yung struggle. Remember. And maalala nga ninyo, yung paulit-ulit na sinasabi ni Brother Ray sa inyo, kapag kayo ay naandoon na. Yung siguro walang tigil na paalala ni Pearl sa inyo, maalala na din. Tama pala si Ate Pearl. If we continue this study, nung si Elisha ay nag-iisa na, di ba? Ganda sa yung part, but take long. Napaka-importante yung mentoring sa inyo. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, huwag niyong sayangin yung pagkakataon na kayo ay nandyan kina Brother Rick, because that's the part of the mentoring process. Because dadating ang panahon na siya ay, kumbaga malayo na sa inyo, katulad ni Elijah, nung siya ay naando na, malayo na, wala na kay Elisha. You will remember nung yung mga katuruan na sinabi sa inyo. And it's the part of this study, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid. Young, inexperienced workers should be trained by actual labor in connection with these experienced servants of God. Thus, they will learn how to bear burdens. Diba? Actual experience, wala pa masyado si Elisha. But the principles of being a missionary na ituro na sa kanyang tahanan. And doon sa actual experience, sabi ko pa sa inyo, Ate Lisel, di ba? Almost 1 year na kayo, more than 1 year. Almost 2 years na. Ang dami nyo ng pinagdadaanan. Di ba? Tampuhan. May kasiyahan. You know? But there is a part. But one thing is that in your all experience, sa ating ikarasan mga kapatid, the most important thing of being a missionary is we need to learn how to bear burdens. Especially sa kapamilya natin. Diba? Sa ka-churchmate natin. Sa community kung naandoon tayo. Now, for the last part of this study, Elisha asked in chapter 2, nung nagsama na sila, sabi ni Elijah, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. Sabi niya, humingi ka. Kung ano ang gusto mo ibigay ko sa iyo bago ako mawala or kunin. Anong sabi? Elisha asked not for worldly honor. Remember, sa First Kings, yung si Solomon, di ba, nag-inip siya. Nagpakita sa kanya ang Diyos. Ang sabi sa paningin sabi niya, humingi ka at ibibigay ko sa iyo. Anong hiningi ni Solomon? Wisdom, yun lang, wisdom. para mag-guide niya itong bayang ito. I remember here also, Elisha. Anong hiningi ni Elisha?
Double portion.
Double portion. Diba? Elisha has not asked for worldly honor, for a high place among the earth of great men of earth, that which he craved was large measure of the spirit that God has bestowed so freely upon the one about to be honored with translation. Yun lang gusto niya. Okay? Double portion of the spirit. He knew that nothing but the spirit that had rested upon Elijah could fit him to fill the place in Israel to which God had called him. So he asked, I pray thee, let a double portion of the spirit be upon me. Diba? Kaya sabihin, the spirit of Elijah. But whose spirit that dwells to Elijah? Kaninong espiritu yun na nandun kay Elijah? Spirit of God. That's why, for the last part of this study, parents, missionaries, katulad kay Elisha, ang ating hingin sa Panginoon ay the double portion of the Spirit. Why? Because through the Spirit of God, we have power. Diba? Spirit is a power. Kaya diba, nung sabi niya, not by might, nor by power, but by thy Spirit. Because the Spirit is power. It's a power of God. And in our missionary journey, mga missionaries, mga kapatid, ano man ang ating ginagawa, katulad kay Elisha, ang ating panalangin sa Panginoon, lagi ay double portion of the Spirit. Because it is through the power of God na tayo ay magtatagumpay. Of course, ma-overcome din natin yung ating mga kahinaan. And sa pamamagitan ng banal na espiritu, mga kapatid, yung ating clarity of thinking, di ba? Isipin niyo, pag matindi yung pinagdadaanan natin, then all of a sudden, ma-refresh tayo sa promise ng Panginoon. It's the work, the spirit, the work of the Spirit, di ba? Yun ang lagi nating ipinalangin sa Panginoon. So, for this morning, the Lord reminded us through the experience of Elisha kung paano siya tinawag. Number 1, yung kanyang right away na pagtanggap sa tugon, it's because that was the product of the training, the first missionary training ground sa buhay ni Elisha nung sa kanyang tahanan. Number 2, it is not about the talent or the skills that will give us so much success in our endeavor. It is what? The conscientiousness of life duties. The faithfulness of the things, kahit gaano man siya kaliit, mga minamahal ko, mga kapatid. And in our missionary journey, maraming trials. Diba? Maraming temptation. Remember, pag dumating yung point na susubukin tayo, mga kapatid, ang tendency ng tao, kung kaya pa, kakayanin. Pag hindi na, nando na. Ano kaya kung uunahin natin ang Panginoon para hindi na tayo mahirapan pa? And the last part, mga minamahal kong mga kapatid. Katulad ni Elisha, we pray for what? The double portion of the Holy Spirit. Because it is through the Holy Spirit that will give us power to overcome, power to move forward. Then it is the power that help us to be what? To be a powerful witness to others. So may God bless us this morning, and let us remember the promises of God. Thank you.